Welcome to Feminist Mythbusters. In today's program, feminist scholars will help us bust some myths about solidity and stability of an identity. I will be talking about how identity, once considered unchangeable and stable, through feminist analysis, is now considered fluid and mendable. First of all, I will be talking about gender and its performance. Then I'll move on to national or cultural identities to finish off with more personal, your own identities. Gender stability myth. For centuries, mostly male scholars were trying to tell us that gender is something we are born with, something assigned to us because of our sex. West and Zimmerman call it naive biological determinism. But in the 50s, Simone de Beauvoir suggested that we learn gender throughout our lives. So women are taught to be frivolous, infantile, irresponsible, and submissive. She suggested that females were taught how to please a man by looking pretty, as well as give care to younger siblings and then children. What is more, West and Zimmerman scholars from the 80s showed us that we do our gender every day. So today, for example, I'm performing my gender by showing appropriate identificatory display, like my hair, my makeup, or wearing a dress. However, at the same time, I'm also undoing my gender by living alone in a different country or getting an education. Therefore, as feminist scholars showed, our gender identity is fluid. Therefore, we can mold it or curl it, if you will. Gender stability myth. Cultural identity myth. Our identity is also shaped by the cultural processes stemming from the socio-economical and geographical backgrounds. Looking at the borderlands and migration patterns of today's societies, we see that cultures mix and blend with each other, creating fluid identities that relate to two or more cultures. In the late 80s, Anzaldúa presented an identity that embodies the fusion of different languages, traditions, sensitivities. This idea of a Mestiza presents the fluidity of cultural identity that is characterized by constant transition. Cultural identity myth busted. And finally, solidified identity. It's commonly known that childhood and teenage years are crucial moments in shaping one's identity. But once we reach adulthood, we become coherent, stable human beings. But the theory of nomadic becoming by Braidotti explains that through interconnections and encounters with others, we gain new experiences and perspectives, which influence our future selves. Braidotti also says that nomadic becoming isn't about being loyal to authority of the past, but rather it's a reinvention through transitory flows of incoherent experiences of all kinds. The transformations are collective and intersubjective because others are essential elements of successive becoming. Similarly to doing and undoing gender, process of becoming is continuous and never-ending. Therefore, our identity is fluid. Solidified identity myth. As you could see, feminist scholars prove that stable identity is a myth. Whether it's part of your gender performance, your cultural or national background, or your individual experiences, identity is in constant transition and fluctuates throughout your life. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.